I'm Reed.
And I'm Florence, and we've partnered with Durex to explore sex, real sex, not necessarily what you see in porn.
We're under so much pressure at the moment, and some people say porn doesn't help, but can anything good come from it?
Well, we're on our way to meet a real-life porn star who's going to reveal it all.
Hey Lina!
Hi!
Hi! Please tell us a little bit about yourself, my love.
Well, I'm Lina Bembe. I'm a porn performer and filmmaker. I am based in Berlin. I've been doing this for 5 years. I don't only do porn, I write about porn as well. And I also work in intersection between porn and sex education.
So I have to ask, as you're in porn, is it real or is it fake?
Well, it's both real and it's both fake. I say that it is real because people do have sex on camera, but it's not real life sex. When you see pornography, most of the time, what you see, it's a work that it's mostly edited. So you know all the perfect bits are left in and all the imperfect bits are left out. And also, porn performers, we are pretty much experts in what we do. So also our job is to make things look nice. If we're not having a good time, it's our job to make it look nice and fine. In that sense, and also like the sex acts that we do, it's real. It's not that we're faking penetrations or stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that the pleasure, it's always like 100% real. And I think that for what we do, it doesn't matter that it's real or it's fake for as long as it looks nice. This can sometimes be tricky. For example, if you're not like very much like exposed to pornography, or if you're not like very much like used to talking about pornography, because people think that what they see, it's real. It's the way like real life functions. It's very funny because people should be treating porn films more the way they treat conventional films. You go see a film and you see that the main character or the villain of a character is a psychopath. You don't leave the cinema thinking that the actor in question is a real psychopath. You know, it's not they're not a psychopath in their real life. They're just like portraying a character. And with porn, it's the same.
What sort of porn do you do?
Oh, I have done different kinds of porn. I have done porn that it's more like alternative, like the so-called also feminist porn. And I have done like queer post porn as well, that is like more weird and like super political. And I have also done mainstream porn as well. I have done like the typical like amateur porn that it's supposed to be real porn.
Yeah, what is amateur porn? Real? Like, is it just a camera set up like in the corner of the room?
It goes both ways. It's both real and fake, because also when you do like this sort of like pornography from a very like natural perspective, you still have to do it in a way that looks natural.
So when you see something that's like first time anal, that's not necessarily true.
No, totally not. I mean, porn performers in so many ways, we are like sexual athletes. In the same way, literally, in the same way, you just don't get up and say, okay, I think today I'm going to run a marathon. And then you just like go and run a marathon and expect to make it alive out of it. It's the same story with porn. I personally like to drink lots of water. To me personally, being properly hydrated means that later on I will be properly lubricated. Although like you always, it's always nice to have some lube at hand. Yeah. Like lube is super important.
Yeah, because you never see that in porn.
Yeah, you never see that, but that totally happens. Like like seriously, every single porn set has at hand condoms, has at hand lube, and has at hand globes as well.
That's
if you want
so
some extra barrier protection.
You never see that.
Yeah. A little like sex box.
Yes.
So like sex aid box.
Yeah. I can't, like, it would be so awkward on set if you were just like bone dry.
Yeah.
What would we do without lube?
I mean, lube should be a staple, like on your bedside table. That should be there, ready and waiting. Yeah, same amongst my toys.
And it's completely valid, completely legitimate. Like, either on porn or in real life, if you feel a little bit dry, to say, hey, can we make a pause? Can we use a little bit of lube? And that's perfectly normal. People with vaginas are normally shamed because like your level of wetness is your level of arousal. And it can be that sometimes you're super aroused, but you still need that extra bit, and that always helps. Like,
it's fine.
Which vagina owner likes dry sex? Like, seriously.
I'm sure there's a fetish out there for that too.
Or like sandy sex.
Oh, sex.
How are young people gonna sort of watch porn, take that away and think, oh yeah, I have like using condoms, lube and toys is normal with sex?
Yeah, it's normal. And you know what? The thing is because when you do porn, we have like these very strict standards when it comes to sexual health and STI testing. So for example, like you can see porn that it's like bareback or with no barrier protection. But what people don't know is that the people who are there having like this quote unquote unprotected sex, they got tested at least 1 week before the shoot. And they're all like very much informed about like how STIs can be transmitted. They know each other's status, for example, and they are like fine with doing that shoot with or without like barrier protection. Yeah. And sometimes there are like sets in which the director like just lets you pick how you want to do it. Do you want to do condom or no condom? And then you can say, okay, I would like some extra layer of protection because like regardless of the testing of, I mean, like having sex, there's always like one risk entailed.
Yeah, definitely.
Every production is very different. Something that definitely doesn't change or that shouldn't change in any kind of productions is the fact that there is always like some round in which you can like speak with your fellow performer in front of the director, in which you express very like clearly what things you're into and what things you're not into. When it comes to I don't know, like films that are like very specific, I don't know, questions if you're like shooting BDSM or if you're shooting fetish or if you're shooting like very specific like sex acts such as like anal or so, that also it's very much like discussed in advance. So when you're like signing up, you know like what exactly you're signing up for.
Yeah. Like we love porn, and porn just gets such a bad name for itself. Is there any good that comes from porn?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good that comes from porn. I think like the bad thing about porn is the stigma that we attach to it. And because we think it's like a dirty topic, that we think it's a taboo topic, we just choose not to talk about it. But I think that if we were like a little bit, at least if we were like a little bit more open towards having more conversations about porn, towards approaching pornography without like this halo of taboo, we will be able to understand that porn can be actually very beneficial, that we can actually have like healthy relationships towards watching porn. We all have sex. We all are here because of sex.
Sure.
Why on earth should it be something horrendous to be able to watch sex in an explicit way?
Hallelujah, amen to that.
like seriously, if we had it like more normal to ourselves to discuss sex and pornography in an open way, we will be able to tell what's real, what's fake, what's a fantasy, what is reality, and even find like some sort of validation. I think that, for example, the first time that I used to watch pornography, that besides like the hot stuff that does exist, is the fact that I saw people that I could see myself reflected on. Doesn't it happen like when there's like a person with like a body that looks like yours and that's doing like something that you find like hot, you're like, oh my God, that could be me. Oh my God. It's like, I don't know. It's nice to see yourself reflected into something that you would like. And that's healthy because it also like helps you to know yourself as a sexual creature. It makes it easier for you to communicate that to your partners.
In porn, you know, I always do it where I skip to the bit where the man or the woman orgasms. Is that like the main body of a porn scene? Or do you think it should be?
I think that there has been like so much like focus on for example, having like what the people call the money shot, where it's like the ejaculation bit, you know? Sex is not only about penetration. That sex is not only about orgasms. That sex is not only about like ejaculation. Things that can be like super sexual, sensual, things that can be like super fun, like things where like performers are having like plenty of chemistry, or that can be like really fun. I think there's many people who are really like understanding that, and then they're trying to make like porn that has like different narratives that have different objectives, and that perhaps might never even end in like this so-called like money shot.
Do you ever have sex or feel horny after a porn scene?
Hard days at work.
One of, for example, the myths about like porn performers is that they're like some sort of like sexual deviants, nymphomaniac, sex hungry, like 100% of the time. And it's not really the case. I mean, I definitely like sex. I definitely like what I do. And yeah, it's pretty much what I'm good at and at the same time what I like. But yeah, I mean, like we can have like very different days on set, on a porn set. And there are days in which I just feel like, in which the day, for example, if it was like too long, or like I did like plenty of cardios, etc. Then after you get home, that perhaps I just like want to have a bath or just like lay down and have like some cuddling session, which is also like really nice. Or if I feel just like a massage, or there are like some other times in which like, yeah, like after a bunch of orgasms, then it's like I still like finish the day. I'm like, okay, I could have some extra fun. But I mean, it really depends. It's just like any other job.
Just like any other job.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like sitting there having a good old day at the bank. And then, it might be, well, might feel empowered or might feel really exhausted.
Yes. I think people like in general have like a little bit of a difficult time understanding that, that porn performers, like the sex that they have on camera, can reflect the sex they have in real life, but at the same time can be very different.
Do you need to like draw a barrier between them two, like to separate work from actual relationships and pleasure?
Yes, yeah, totally. I mean, in so many ways, I will have to say, in so many ways, like doing porn for me has been really good for my private life, in the sense that it helped me a lot with questions of communication. It helped me a lot with questions of consent. It helped me a lot to feel better with myself and with my own body, and not to feel, and try to feel a lot less shameful about the things that I could like, you know, or like about like feeling too dirty about it, being into like certain thing or another. Yeah. So in that sense, like porn has very much like improved my personal and sex life. But at the same time, there is like certainly a line between what my work life is and then my personal and private life is.
Yeah. Have you had any negative experiences with dating and like telling people what you do?
Fortunately, not really. I started doing porn when I was single. And from that moment on, like my dating and relationship life, in that sense, I have been like very open. In the sense of saying, okay, I do porn, this is what it is, and if you have doubts about it, you feel kind of funny about it, then I cannot, like, sorry, you're not right for me. So fortunately, I think that in many ways I'm very lucky, because I do have, like in Berlin, there is a community of like indie filmmakers and porn people that also do porn, or that are like sex positive in many ways. So I have like a network of support and a bunch of people with whom I can talk openly about my job and the things that happen around it. There have indeed been occasions in which I have like disclosed what I do to certain people, because sometimes like doing porn is pretty much like coming out of the closet and saying, hey, guess what? I have something to tell you. You know what? My job is, which is really... I don't know, sometimes it's ridiculous, because you don't come out of the closet as an architect, or you don't come out of the closet as a, I don't know,
sales assistant.
Yes, but with porn, sometimes you have to do it. Yeah. And sometimes people accept it, and people are just like normal. Sometimes people are super supportive and curious. And sometimes people are like, oh, feel uncomfortable, and just like, suddenly you realize they just like stop calling you or something like that, which, I mean... If they want to talk about it, then it's great. But if they also decide not to talk about it, that should be respected. And then,
So I have to ask you, how could I learn to squirt?
Okay. I think that squirting is like a kind of like a trendy topic these days.
It's so in right now. It's like the fashion.
It's
like
very
we
much...
can ejaculate too.
And it's like this new kind of like porn category as well. Yeah. It's super interesting, because first of all, there's like a very much like misinformation about what squirting is. It's the fact that people who were born with vaginas have also the ability of ejaculating. And I don't know, like we call it squirting because of a kind of like action, but people can actually leak, for example.
You can like dribble out.
Yeah, dribble, or like just like you like explode like some gushing, you know? It's never like this kind of like fountain that you see.
Yeah, in porn, it's very much like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
reaching the other side of the room
Yes.
somehow.
Yeah, because that's like pretty much the
I mean, I've seen that
fantasy.
from both men and women. Woo!
Yeah. I mean, like, that's what people, after watching porn, that's what people would expect. They'd be like, if I want to squirt, I'm going to like squirt and it's going to go everywhere.
Yeah, but the thing is that the trick that some people do in pornography is, for example, like some people just like chuck like liters and liters of water. And then if they're having like some form of like rough sex or like that, it's like kind of like there's a lot happening and so on. And then you have your bladder like super full. At some point you expel whatever comes out of yeah, whatever comes out, you know? And for the sake of the fantasy, if it's pee or if it's actual ejaculate fluid, then like that doesn't matter
Yeah.
because it looks
Shouldn't
nice on
matter.
camera.
It's sexy.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's part of the trick.
Yeah.
And in some other like genres of pornography, there's like performers who have it really easy to control how to ejaculate or how to like square, or how to make it look like more spectacular and so on. Or like many people feel like compelled, it's like, oh my God, like I really need to learn how to do it. I really need to square. I'm an incomplete woman because I cannot square, you know?
I mean, some guys like pride themselves on being able to make people
So
squirt.
into it. They're like,
And they're just like,
challenge.
I can make anyone squirt. And quite often
cares?
they don't.
I know how to make you ejaculate. I'm like, oh, please,
Yeah, it's a
no,
bit
you're
of pressure.
gonna finger ban me till the end of days, and that's not really, that's not
No.
pleasurable sometimes.